Hello. Our team name is Black Mesa Northwest, as you saw in the opening, and my name is Luke Madel. I am the artist and general all-around person, and this is Xander. He was the main programmer. He's the person who put all the pieces together. He put Scotch tape on all this. This is Jake. He's another artist, and this is Kendrick. He's a sound designer. He did a really good job. All right, so our game name is called The House. You start in a one-room apartment, and in front of you is a test. And every single time you start, it's a questionnaire about the house. And as you can see right now, it's a tutorial, and it has all the controls on it. I'm just gonna give a brief rundown, like right-click, you can zoom in, and you can interact with objects around the house for clues. And if you fail a question, you fail. But if you get the question right, you advance. And you go to the next level, which the house randomizes each time. And there's a timer, which is set for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And around the house, a lot of things can be interacted with. Some things don't really matter to the actual test, but a lot of the things here are meant to be here for the test. Some are later on, some are important right now. And Xander, you should tell them about the interaction script that you made.
Thank you. So the interaction is something that we really wanted to emphasize in this game, because there's all these objects that you can move around, you can switch on and off. In fact, there's a record player somewhere around here that has a lot of that. But yeah, all of the code for that did that from scratch. And well, I also created many of the animations for the objects when they open and close or switch on and off, etc. And this here is our first question on the test. So the idea of the game is that you'd be going around looking for clues to help you answer these questions. And it's really more of a narrative-driven game, which is why the test is in place. You're supposed to sort of figure out what's going on. And though there are answers, we've left it a little bit unclear, both through the sort of Uncanny Valley presentation and the ethereal sound design, which isn't working. Okay. Of course it was. Just go. Okay.
All right, so what's supposed to be going on right now is there was a bunch of audio cues, like the oven opening and closing. We actually changed the walking sounds because the default Unity walking sounds are, yeah, they're terrible and nasty. So we changed them to walking on boards and walking on wood and creaking and stuff. And there was some ambient sounds of like a sound. Don't know how to describe it. And there was a record player that actually played music. There was a bunch of different pieces of music. And you can see sometimes around the house, some things changes. Like on the sword rack, the sword was gone, and then there was a note left on there. Someone need that sword. And some things lead to different things later inside the game. Like that sword being gone is important later inside the story. And you can see other things are disappearing as well, and some things are appearing. And in this next scene, the house changes again. And this time, a backpack is added. And when you go over, you can slide it, and there's a note. Well, a student report card, to be exact.
So yeah, that report card will tell you more about the sun, which here the answer is what the name of the son is. So there you go. You figured it out by looking at the report card, and that's how most of the problem solving is done in this game. You just kind of look around the house and see if there's anything that can answer the question. Ooh, oh, it's one of these things. I'm excited.
Yeah, you see a kid popped up in the window, and when the sound actually played, the kid would banged on the window go and made ha ha ha, like a little laughing sound, but more menacing than what I did. And then it disappeared at a point, so now you can see the child is gone, nowhere to be seen again, and all of the lights are off. It's very spooky. There was some spooky sounds going on. And you have to answer this question about the child now. So now instead of the house, you're answering questions about the family and what happened to them and what do they like and what personalities do they have. And this one, everything seems to turn back to normal after that little incident with the child. Right now, going back to the report card. And now different shoes are disappearing this time. Oh yeah. Do you want to go more in depth with the shadow script and stuff, like all that stuff? Yeah.
Oh, did you? Kendrick. So yeah. Oh yeah, the shadow script. That was a little bit of that was a fun thing to try and figure out. Had it go on a timer. So this is the final part of the game. Shifts in tone a little bit, and instead of the timer counting down, it's going up. So you kind of get the impression that something else is going on, kind of weird here. And so now you're basically playing through a game of the floor is lava throughout the entire house.
Yeah, like Sandra said, it's a floor of lava, but if Kendrick didn't die, it would explain why you're in the floor of lava. Basically, the boy brought you here because of reasons that you would find around the house with clues and stuff. And the boy said, "Oh, do you like playing with fire?" And they brought you here. And then you're supposed to go home, as it said at the top. And then you're supposed to go onto the home mat. And then once you go home, the credits play and it scrolls up. But the sound that was supposed to play is just wind whistling. There's no really any end music, it's just wind. So it leaves a kind of mysterious feeling at the end. And these are credits of all the people who worked on it and stuff. And that was our game.